ball. Hey everybody, happy December. It's a really good day to ride here in the Spokane area in December time. We got lucky and we don't really have any snow yet. It's just kind of cold. So we're gonna keep riding these bikes until the snow comes. So today we are riding the 2018 Santa Cruz Hightower LT. This is a 29er. So it's 29-inch wheels, 150 millimeters of travel out back, and it's spec'd with a 150 millimeter fork up front. This is another one of those bikes that is a contention for my next bike, or a contender for my next bike. I had a regular Hightower before, wanted a little bit more rear travel out back for some of the rougher areas we have here. So giving this one a try. It's rides on what Santa Cruz call VPP suspension. That stands for virtual pivot point. And essentially, again, this is called a multi-link or dual link design, similar to like a DW Link or Giant Maestro. So it's got a upper link that activates the shock, and it's got a lower link that connects the swing arm to the front triangle or the front of the bike, versus a pivot just attaching directly the triangle to the rear triangle to the front triangle, excuse me. So Santa Cruzes have always been known to be very efficient via that linkage design. They have a lot of anti-squat characteristics built in to make it a firm pedaler, but also nice and plush. So more on the spec of this bike. This is the LTC. So Santa Cruz has a C and CC frames. The C frame is basically a slightly heavier, slightly less expensive frame, carbon frame, to the CC. A lot of speculation on what the actual difference is, but Santa Cruz claims no strength difference, just weight. It's the GX Eagle build, so it has the GX 1x12 drivetrain. It's got SRAM brakes, so those brakes and shifters and dropper all mated together with their matchmaker system makes for a very clean cockpit. Race face bar and stem, Fox suspension, DPX in the DPS in the back, and a 36 performance up front with a grip damper. And again, it's the third bike I've ridden with a grip damper on a Fox, and very impressed with it. It runs on E13 TRS wheels and Maxxis DHR2s front and back. And I've always wanted to try DHR2 up front. I've heard great things about it, so I'm pretty excited for that today. Let's talk about the fit of the bike. I'm on a size large. I'll post some geometry numbers here for you. I'm just over 6 foot with shoes on. I run about a 32-inch inseam, average to maybe slightly below average arm length, and so far this bike feels pretty good. My regular Hightower was extra large. I tend to run them a little bit longer. I like that added stability, especially when you're in that attack position. You kind of bend your arms, so it kind of unstretches you out, and so we'll have to see what it feels like going down, but it definitely is more comfortable climbing position wise than my old Hightower was, with the, it had a 160 mil fork on there too. I was pretty stretched out to the max on an XL. I'm going to actually do a size comparison video between this and an XL Hightower LT. Not to tell you which one is better or worse, but maybe why you would prefer to pick one over the other. So look out for that video. But back to the size of this one. Much more comfortable climbing position. Feel a little bit more upright. My saddle's all the way forward. I have about maybe 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches of dropper showing between the collar of the dropper and the top of the seat post. And I'm in an ideal position for pedaling. You know, just under max leg extension when I crank at the bottom. And it feels good. Right. So our climbing assessment. So far, the climbing characteristics of the bike are, I would say, good to really good. I have the shock in open, and I can feel every pedal stroke I take really pushes the bike forward more and not kind of down into the rear tire. You know, some bikes, you need a pedal and you bob the rear end. That could be bad suspension tuning, but I do set these up as close to my personal bike in terms of rebound and compression whenever I can. Tire pressure, everything like that. So I definitely feel more off the back, even compared to my Hightower XL. Partly, I think, because it is shorter wheelbase, but I have some dropper post showing, so it's going to push that seat post back a little bit, or that saddle position anyway. And oddly enough, I feel more off the back on this than I did on my XL Hightower. I do have, there are some spacers on the front. I typically run no spacers under my stem, so that could be as well. So when I do the actual review on the XL and large, I'll make sure to set them up exactly the same, or as close as I can. But overall, good to very good climber. You don't get a lot of bob. It's more than a twitch. It's definitely not like that Ripley LS I rode, but it's probably very close to that Yeti 5.5. Maybe, I don't know, coin toss on that one. All right, guys, we made it to the top. We got quite the view today. We beat that sun from hitting the horizon. So, man, what a rewarding view after a good climb. While we're up here, I'm going to take the time to give the bike shop Bike Hub a shout out. They are the suppliers for today's bike. They are a Santa Cruz dealer in the Spokane area. If you live in the PNW and you need a bike shop or Santa Cruz, check out the Bike Hub. They're an excellent group of guys, very knowledgeable, and they will fit you in the bike that you need, unless you come in there knowing what you want. But very knowledgeable on that front. So we're gonna drop into our trusty test loop of Pop Rocked and Scared Cat and see how the LT rides. If you like these bike reviews, please like and subscribe so I can keep this channel going. Overall, I'm pretty overwhelmed with the amount of you that have already subscribed and all the views I got. So thank you for that, and hopefully we can keep this going. So make sure we're not locked out anywhere. Let's see. Open. All right, here we go. It's a little slippery. That top layer kind of freezes and then thaws out. Some sun in my eye there. Again, that grip damper that comes on these Performance 36s, really impressed with them. The rear end of this is a little muted. Again, it doesn't have a overly active feeling to it, but it's stable. It doesn't bounce around or kick you. It's just a very stable feeling. Just not overly sensitive like you'd want, or some people might prefer. Being a little extra cautious today, it is kind of slick. I'll have to commend the DHR2 tires that come on this. Despite how slick and muddy it is, they're holding grip very well. I think my aggressor rear tire that I like for most conditions would struggle today. I can already feel that I really want to get on an extra large on one of these. Kind of what my initial thoughts were is when you get into that tucked kind of attack position, kind of shrinks up your cockpit a little bit, and it does feel a little bit more small and lively underneath. So I'd really like to try that XL. All right, getting ready to hit our flat pedal section. Really good on the pedal. Definitely moving forward and not down into the rear travel. It's not bobbing a whole lot.
Hey guys, we're wrapping up the ride review of the 2018 Hightower LT, and what a great bike. Talk about a do-it-all bike that can climb well and can also descend even better. I would say if you've had a normal Hightower, it's going to feel very similar. The only difference is when you do have those bigger hits, or maybe bigger jumps or flatter landings, you are going to feel that little extra cushion out back. Otherwise, kind of that same suspension feel that you're used to with the Santa Cruz VBP is going to feel all similar. I know a lot of people comment on like that VBP wallow. I didn't feel a lot of that. I felt like the shock stroke was pretty consistent. I didn't really sag in at all. Again, my experience, others could be different. Other than that, descending wise, the bike was great. It was really stable. The spec of the bike was excellent. The GX Eagle build retails for just under $4,900. They do have, I believe it's an R build that's one below it for, I think it's under $4,000, I want to say. So, that's also another great option as well. Other than that, I had a real fun time on that bike today. It's going to be a contender for my own bike, so I've got a lot of thinking to do. I would compare this bike probably to the Yeti SP 5.5 that I rode. I've also ridden a Trek Slash for a little bit, same amount of rear travel. I'll have to say it pedals a lot better than the Trek Slash. So if you're caught between the two, or if those two are on your short list, give both a try. I would say the Slash feels a little bit more plush, but the Hightower feels a lot more efficient. Getting out of the saddle, pedaling hard, and just climbing. It was a much better experience. So on that note, I'm going to call it good for today. Thanks for hanging out with me and looking over the Hightower LT. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.